Maria here, welcome to my channel. Today I am super excited to be doing my top 10 spring picks, spring perfume picks. Yeah, this season I've got so many perfumes I'm excited to be wearing. I've been wearing them already. I found basically beginning of March I just had enough of all the cozy winter scents and switched on over to the spring fragrances in anticipation for spring coming. So yeah, during this season I find that I start to just crave the sweet, delicious, kind of flowery, girly perfumes, super feminine. I put all the unisex stuff away and get into the kind of ultra feminine florals. And so I've got a whole range of perfumes here I want to share with you. I think there's something for everybody here, but before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to join the Weird Wonderful family. And without further ado, let's get into this. So the first perfume that I have to share, now these first two are Elie Saabs. I've talked about them quite a lot just recently because I compared the two. But the first one is Elie Saab Le Parfum. Now this one to me is just the epitome of spring. It's a white floral. In the opening you have African orange flower, and then in the mid you have jasmine. And then in the base, that is kind of where it gets kind of interesting. You have white honey, patchouli, rose, and Virginia cedar. So what I find with this one is you have the white floral, but then you have this sweet note in the base, like once it dries down, this sweetness that comes out with the cedar. So a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy. So this one, you know, it's ultra feminine. And quite heady, but that honey and that cedar kind of balances it out and makes it a little bit sexy. So this one is like a super white floral with a twist, in my opinion. So I really love this one. Oh, it's gorgeous, super classy. Definitely sniff this one. Now the next one is the older, more grown-up sister, and it is Elie Saab Le Parfum Royal. So this one is a complete departure, even though it's a flanker. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. So the opening is, I think, what attracts me the most to this fragrance, and it is mandarin orange. So you get this bright, tart kind of mandarin scent in the opening, and then in the mid you have Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose, and neroli. And then in the base you have patchouli, amber, sandalwood, and vanilla. Now with this fragrance I don't really notice the base notes, so this one I definitely picked the base notes up in this. This one primarily is that tart orange and the rose is what I get. Lots of people find this to be a major patchouli bomb. I don't really notice that so much. But whatever it is delicious. Now, even though I say that I'm not noticing the base notes, what I do notice in this one is that as it dries down, you get kind of like this exotic feel to it. Like it kind of, yeah, it feels like there's spices in here or some sort of, doesn't smell oudy, but it smells like there should be like, I don't know, some sort of spice in there. So that's what I notice when it dries down. This one gives me, honestly, I don't own Delina, but I've had samples of Delina, and this kind of gives me that Delina vibe. Now, it doesn't smell the same. Delina has a smoky quality to me anyway that this doesn't have, but as far as that tartness in the fragrance coupled with the rose, I feel like the mandarin does in this what the rhubarb does in Delina. So I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. I don't think they smell the same, but there's a similar vibe. And this one is super, although it's feminine, there's a super sensuality that is in this one. It's a little bit more sexy. Or maybe it's just sexy in a different way from Elie Saab Le Parfum. But whatever it is, this is delicious. I love the juicy tartness of that mandarin. So this is definitely, I'm excited about this one for summer, or spring, for spring and summer. Now the next one is a dupe from Perfume Parlour, and it's called, I think it's called Sweet Bliss. And what it is it's the dupe or the inspired scent for Jo Malone's English Pear and Freesia. I just think this is so pretty. It just reminds me of like the countryside where you're kind of smelling wild florals or wild flowers, and then somehow a little bit of that pear in there. The pear smells slightly green to me, but still juicy. And I just think it's so pretty. I put it on my arm at around 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock now, and I can still smell it on myself, although it's more of a skin scent. And right now I'm smelling more of the florals. So although that English pear comes out to begin with, in the end you smell more floral than anything. Now the top notes of this are pear and melon. The mid notes are freesia and rose, and then in the base you have musk, patchouli, rhubarb, and amber. So yes, I know that this is the dupe, but I've smelt the real thing, and to me it smells really similar. It's just gorgeous. It just makes me think of walking in an English, like on an English hillside with wild flowers everywhere, and you can smell kind of dew on the ground, and you're getting kind of a bit of a breeze, so you're kind of smelling the trees and the flowers, and maybe you're eating a pear. I don't smell the melon in this, but overall I just think this one is so pretty, so beautiful for spring. Definitely more day, but I find this one super invigorating and energizing and so feminine. Love it! So the next one I have for you is Narciso Rodriguez Pure Musk for Her. Now this one, when you smell it off the cap, it just kind of smells like like it smells really boring. But for whatever reason, I just love this one on the skin. So last night I had my shower, I put this on, and I just smelled so clean. Makes you smell clean, but there's also a hint of floral. So the top note in this is musk, and then the mid is floral, and the base is cashmeran. So this one just smells, it smells clean, it smells fresh. I likened it in one of my videos when I hauled this to Velcro. Somehow it's just white and crisp, I guess, and like just the like this. There's a little bit of not scratchiness to it, but kind of prickliness on the nose a little bit from the musk. But then as this dries down, so I put it on my wrist here, as it dries down, it gets slightly creamy. It's not overpowering, but I think it's just beautiful, especially in hotter weather. I'm sure I'll reach for this one a lot. And honestly, I kind of had a few perfumes on the go today, and this one I would just get wafts of it mixed with the other ones, and it just smelled so great. So I can see this one also being great for layering. Have you tried this one? If you have, what do you think of it? I think it's really pretty. It is powdery. But for me, I'm not really crazy on the powder, but this one, for whatever reason, I really enjoy. So now the next one I have is Twilly d'Hermes by Hermes. Now this one, first of all, I just love this cute little darling bottle. Like, it's a little 30 ml, and isn't it cute? So this fragrance, this one's an interesting one because it has kind of a more peppery, spicy opening, but then as it dries down, you get kind of this warm sweetness. So for me, I can see myself gravitating towards wearing this one as potentially even an evening scent in the summer, because there's a bit of warm sexiness to it. But I think it's great for those colder spring days. But yeah, it's just really, I find this one actually quite comforting. So in the opening, you have ginger, bitter orange, and bergamot. So definitely I pick up on that ginger, and I definitely pick up on the bitter orange and bergamot. So I can pick up all three of those notes in the opening. So the opening is very pronounced. I found that it lasts about 15-20 minutes. And then as it starts to dry down, you start to notice the florals and the warmth of the base a little bit more. So the mid notes are tuberose, orange blossom, and jasmine. And then the base is sandalwood and vanilla. So I've got it on my wrist. And yeah, right now I'm smelling the sandalwood, the vanilla, and a little bit of that. I'd say I noticed the orange blossom to begin with, and then I start to notice the jasmine a bit more. Less noticing the tuberose. So yeah, to me more that orange blossom and then going into jasmine as it dries down. But this one is very pretty. It's a little bit sensual. I like the warmth of it. But I also like that bright opening. It's kind of fun, and it's neat that this perfume kind of shifts as you wear it. So I really like this one. I find that it's lasting fairly long as well. I can still smell it really well on my skin, and it's been on for 6 hours. So, and I only sprayed one spray, so I think it's pretty good for lasting. Now the next one is a bit polarizing, and it is Jasmine Wisp by Rasasi. Now this one, I didn't like it to begin with. Well, no, that's not true. When I first smelt it, I thought to myself, wow, I love this, like I love it. And then when I put it on, I thought, oh, I don't know if I really like it because it felt a little scratchy to me somehow. It smelt a little bit loud and obnoxious. But then I tried it a few more times and found myself actually craving this one and gravitating towards it a bit. So this one opens with mandarin, lemon, and grapefruit. I don't really notice that. What I notice more is the mid notes, which are passion fruit, white flowers, pear, coconut, and peach. Now, I notice the passion fruit most, like more than anything, is that passion fruit. So definitely get that bright fruit smell, and in there is you know, a little bit of pokiness somehow, a little bit of scratchiness. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's the lemon, maybe that little bit of you know, citrus opening is what I'm feeling. I don't really notice the coconut either. What I get is just a bright you know, kind of in your face fruit, like kind of almost like a fruit cocktail. It's not that sweet, but definitely getting that passion fruit peach kind of mixture is what I'm noticing in this one primarily. Then as it dries down, you get vanilla, amber, and tonka bean. For me, this one just kind of stays linear, and I'm getting that fruit burst. Although this one was a bit hard to get used to at first, and although it's linear, I just really love it. Like, I find that I crave this one. It's very uplifting and energizing. It's a major burst. It's gregarious. So yeah, I do enjoy this one quite a lot. So Jasmine Wisp by Rasasi. Let me know what you think of this one. Like, some people really hate it. So yeah, I'm curious. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What's the general consensus? Weigh in. It's open for you to discuss. Now the next one has fast become a favorite of mine, and that is L'Interdit by Givenchy. Now this one, like, I seriously, right now, I could wear this one every day. Now I think that maybe in the dead of heat, this one would be too much. So I can see this one being great for every season except for maybe hot summer. But this one, I just love it. And to me, like, it's really pear heavy. So I really notice the pear in this one. So again, that one just makes me think of spring. For whatever reason, pears and spring go together for me. So this one, the opening has pear and bergamot. I don't know if I really notice. It is a nice kind of, like, there's a citrusiness to the pear. So I can get that. And then the mids are tuberose, orange blossom, and jasmine. I find that that's a common trio of florals that are put in this. In this one, I would say I definitely am noticing the tuberose more than I'm noticing the orange blossom or the jasmine sambac. Yeah, so I get that pear, and then the tuberose is like kind of like a little bit of a bubblegum tuberose, not super, but it's like quite creamy to me, but not mature at all. Like, this to me is quite a vibrant scent. So I don't think mature in the slightest. And then in the dry down, you get patchouli, vetiver, ambroxan, and vanilla. And so this one, I don't know. It just smells good. Like this one just smells good. This one smells like a smoldering woman. I don't know what it is about this one. It is just, it's so delicious. So I would definitely wear this in the day. It smells so incredibly beautiful, but in the same token, it smells sensual and sexy and provocative. So I think it's perfect for day, but it also works so well in the night. And I can see a lot of men actually really loving this because it's quite sweet. So yeah, I love this perfume. In fact, I could wear this one every day and not get sick of this. I was talking to Lori and I said to her that this was my new favorite, like bar none, this was my favorite. And she went, do you like it more than Coco Mademoiselle? Like if you had to choose between the two? Like, I can't do that. So like if I had to choose between like and make one my absolute favorite, I think I'd have a hard time with that. But I do really, really love this one. It's just beautiful. It's sweet. It's intoxicating. There's a creamy quality to it. I can't get enough of it. So I highly recommend this one. Now, the other one that is absolutely perfect for spring and definitely summer as well is the Eau de Toilette version. So I have the Eau de Parfum and it's a lot more rich and thick. So this one is a little bit more thick, a little bit more syrupy. The Eau de Toilette has, it says it has poppy in the opening, but it just smells a little bit lighter. They smell different to me. Like like there's a similarity, but the Eau de Toilette has definitely just a little bit more lightness and freshness to it. So check out both of them and see what, like I tried both of them. And then my husband decided to buy me this one, so I got this one. I think that I would have bought this one anyway, but I really love that Eau de Toilette as well. It's just really beautiful, and it's got a little bit more of a, there's a bit more brightness. This one's a bit more sensual. The other one would definitely be a little bit more brighter. You could wear it more, like it's definitely daytime appropriate, that Eau de Toilette. So check out that one for spring if you find this one a little bit too heavy. So the next perfume that I have for you is fairly new to my collection, and it is Wonderland Peony by Floral Street. Now this one is just gorgeous. Like when I think of spring, I think of uplifting, energizing, full of life, joyful, exuberant. That's what comes to mind when I think of spring. And this is definitely in there. So this one opens with guava, red berries, and Sicilian lemon. I don't know if I noticed that, but there's definitely a brightness to the opening for sure. In the mid notes, you get raspberry, bloom, peony, and violet. Now, I don't notice the violet at all. And I don't notice a raspberry bloom, but I do get a raspberry vibe out of this one. So definitely notice that. And then the sweetness of the peony. This is definitely floral, but not in the same way that something like this is. So this one, you know, you're definitely getting the white florals. It's very heady. This one is more of a sweet floral like the peony. Anytime I've smelt peony, although like I haven't actually smelt a peony flower in a long time, but whenever I smell peony in a perfume, it's kind of a brighter, sweeter floral. So definitely notice that in this. And then in the base, you get cotton candy, resins, wood note, cedar, vanilla, and vetiver. Now, I definitely get that candy, or the cotton candy, for sure get the cotton candy. And I definitely notice the vetiver and the cedar in this. So although you've got the bright kind of sweet florals, a little bit of a raspberry vibe, you get that little bit of burst of fruit like the guava. It doesn't feel like totally over the top, sickeningly sweet again, because you have that cedar and that vetiver to kind of balance it out. So I just think this one is so, so pretty. It's very feminine. It's very youthful. Like I can see anyone like 15 plus wearing it. So it's definitely one for, you know, all ages and stages of life. Like, I just think it's so pretty. I just think of the 1950s and kind of walking around like this to some sort of music. Like, and then little cartoon birds flying in, like Wonderland Peony. The name says it all, man. Like I just, you know, imagine some sort of like, oh, I got it. Like, you know, when there's like a musical and like they just have a, you know, a moment and it's like, life is glorious. Life is glorious. And then everybody starts singing like a song and doing a dance. That's what this one feels like to me. It's just so happy. So definitely get your nose on this one. Floral Street's perfumes are quite fascinating because first of all, they don't believe in objectifying women. So they like, there's no like sexuality or any of that kind of stuff in their perfume ads apparently. Which I appreciate. I love the artwork of every bottle. So every bottle has a beautiful floral kind of picture on it, which is quite neat. The other thing that I like is that the perfumes they're just different. Like, so this one would be the most crowd pleasing one. But there's quite a few perfumes from them that are really fascinating to me. Probably my next favorite would be Ylang Ylang Espresso. Definitely you get that coffee in there. It's really cool. Black Lotus, it's like ashy. Well, both Ylang Ylang Espresso and Black Lotus, they're kind of like ashy. It smells like you're smoking. They're somehow super sexy and dark and weird, but this one is like the antithesis of those. So kind of a wide range of florals for everyone, something for everyone for sure. Now the only disadvantage to this one is the longevity isn't phenomenal. So I get 4 hours. Love the scent bubble. I find that it projects. There's good sillage with it. But I find 4 hours is kind of the max and then it kind of peters out. This one, I like it enough though that I'll definitely respray. That said, you're going to go through it quite fast. So I've got a bit of a dent in it already. So you go through it a little faster. So you got to keep that in mind. These are relatively reasonably priced too. Canadian, it's I think $98 for a 50 ml at Sephora. So highly recommend this one. Highly recommend checking out the line Floral Street for sure. I've got 2 more for you. I'm super pumped. I haven't talked about this one in a long time. She's kind of my baby. Sophia by Sophia Vergera. This is another one. So all these next scents I'm showing you are pink. This one, the liquid's actually white, but it's in a pink bottle. But this one, it's kind of got this pink vibe to it, and that's what it makes me feel like. It is so beautiful. I love this fragrance. First of all, I love the bottle. I think it's classy. This is a classy fragrance. Now I have a video up on this one compared to Coco Mademoiselle. I do not think that there's the same fragrance. I don't think that this is a dupe, but it somehow has that same classy vibe. But this one is just so chipper and cheery and youthful. I just love it. Like for a celebrity scent, this just stands on its own. So the opening has blackberry, plum, and currant buds. And I definitely get that plum. It's like a dark fruit. It's so like it's just juicy. And then in the mids you get orchid, rose, and violet. So I get a little hint of that, like a little bit of a powderiness, but not like it's not a powdery fragrance, but I can see a little bit of that powder. Other than that, the florals, I don't really notice a whole lot. And in the base, you get vanilla, woody notes, and sandalwood. But this one, when I think of this fragrance, I actually think of Sophia Loren. So someone who's super classy, but ultra feminine. So like kind of a more feminine style dress. But yeah, just really beautiful, tight at the waist. Like I think of 1960s style dresses, still kind of 50-ish, with, you know, like kind of down to like mid calf for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm telling you about a dress. But anyway, this fragrance, super feminine, super beautiful, but still girly and juicy and delicious. Classy, but juicy. Check it out, and it's so affordable. So the last fragrance I have to talk about is Angel Muse Eau de Toilette. Now this fragrance, This is, it smells very similar to the Eau de Parfum. The difference between this one is that this one has passion fruit, mandarin orange, and lemon, whereas the Eau de Parfum has grapefruit in the opening. The other difference is this doesn't have the patchouli. So this has hazelnut spread and cassis. So the cassis kind of gives a bit of a patchouli vibe, in my opinion. But then the base has vetiver, akagala wood, chocolate, and caramel. So this one, like, so the Eau de Parfum, I definitely get more of a sweet tea from it because it's so patchouli heavy, whereas this one, I get that bright kind of fruity opening, but then it dries down to the more chocolatey vibe. So this one's really pretty. For anyone that doesn't vibe with the Angel Muse, Eau de Parfum, try the Eau de Toilette because I definitely get more chocolate after I get that burst of fruit. So this one again is super juicy, super bursty, energizing, but then you still get the warmth from the chocolate. So this one's kind of a fun one. So anyway, that is it. Those are my 10 perfumes that I'm excited to wear for the spring. I had more that I wanted to share with you, but it just gets a little ridiculous. So I thought I would talk about these because they're kind of more newer ones. Some of them are new, some of them aren't so new. But anyway, that's it. Hope that you enjoyed. What are the perfumes you can't wait to wear for spring? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.